Hey guys, Caleb McCullum with Insight Genesis here. We're out here on Lake Sidney Lanier in Baldwin County in Georgia. I'm here with Branson Marks from the University of North Georgia Bass Fishing Team. What we're going to do is we're going to kind of replicate what you would do in a typical practice for a tournament. So while you're graphing, you might as well be mapping. We're going to show you how to go through that process, record your sonar. We're going to show you how, with using Insight Genesis and these maps, you can learn twice as much as you ever thought you would learn in a day of practice.
Well, Branson already knows this, but for those of you who don't, I'm going to show us how to record sonar and just how easy it is to make custom maps of the lakes that you're fishing. We're going to go to our sonar page. We're going to press Menu, Advanced, Log Sonar, and then you're just going to hit record. It's as easy as that. You're already spending the time in the chair looking for fish, so you might as well do these 3 keystrokes to have better maps and more information about the areas that you're fishing. I promise you it'll make you a better fisherman. So now that we're recording our sonar, we're going to get out here and map a few of these pockets and see what we can find. Alright guys, so we're back here in the hotel after a day of fishing and recording. We've got our sonar logs on our SD card here. So we're going to log into the Insight Genesis, show you all how we go about this process. First, you're going to enter your email and your password. This will take us to the home page. This will show me all my available trips that I've done in the past. Over here, it has the web upload tool. We're going to use this to upload our logs. You'll click the web upload right here. It'll say upload sonar logs. Once we've inserted our SD card, we'll select add sonar logs. Under your computer, you should have the SD card that you just inserted. You should be able to select them all. Press open and select start upload, and you're good to go. Now for you PC users, we have a slightly different and a little bit faster option to upload your sonar logs. Here on your homepage, Insight Genesis, under resources on the right, just below the web upload tool, it says install Insight Genesis upload tool. This Insight Genesis upload tool is just a little bit faster than the web upload, and it's great for you PC users. If you want a little bit more information on how to install this to your desktop, Google our Insight Genesis blog and the information will be found there. Alright guys, we got our sonar logs uploading. We don't have to sit here and babysit it. It'll take care of itself. We've been on the water all day. I'm hungry, so we're going to go grab a bite to eat. And when we get back, we're going to review the custom charts of all the spots that we mapped and graphed today and show you all some of those key areas. Alright guys, so we're back from dinner. All of our logs should have finished processing, so we should be able to sit down here and check out some of these maps. So we're going to go into our different trips that we have. We're going to select Lake Sidney Lanier. This is going to give us a drop down of all the different files that we recorded. So here's our trip. You can see where we went exactly with our red track line. You have the option to either leave that on or even turn it off if you would like. I'm going to zoom in and we'll get a little better picture of this. This is our basic contour layer. The next thing we want to do is change our contours to 1 foot. This is going to give us the most detailed map we can possibly get. This is really going to help us find those nuances that these fish are relating to and really dial it in. Those key spot on the spot areas that really make a difference. This is one of the first spots that we went to today, and we noticed a lot of fish hanging out in certain portions of the creek channel. You know, they weren't necessarily throughout the creek channel, but there were certain areas where the fish were really stacked up, where there wasn't really a major contour break or anything like that. So we're trying to really figure out why those fish were relating to those areas. It wasn't anything obvious that you'd notice either on the bank or really looking at your sonar. We're going to pull up this composition map and see if there's any clues to why these fish were hanging out in these areas. We're going to select layers, and then all you're going to do is simply select composition. And this is going to show you actually a heat map of bottom hardness. So you can tell the darker areas are a harder bottom, the lighter areas are a softer bottom. This will really help you dial in those key little areas on certain points or humps or wherever it may be that you're trying to fish. Those hard bottom areas are really the keys that bass relate to. Another really cool feature of Insight Genesis that absolutely no one else has, no other custom app on the market has, is the playback feature. We can actually go back through and review our trip and see our sonar as it happened on the boat. We're going to go down here and press play. You can see this is our bottom composition layer. Alright, right here, we notice this hump. Right here you can see this color change. So this is definitely a hard bottom coming out. So this could be This could be a lot of things. This could be a roadbed. This could be, a harder submerged point. You can tell by the bank that there's not necessarily a submerged point right here. This little hump in our contours is showing this might be a little high spot. So I'm thinking this is probably just a really big rock that this fish right here is relating to. So right here, I'm not sure if you can see that, there's one little dark spot. This is actually a little bit harder than the rest of the area around it. So this is kind of an isolated hard spot. Those are the ones that are really key, that are really good. You'll notice right here, we got a couple fish stacked on it. We got a lot of brush throughout here. Now, brush can look like fish sometimes. It'll pancake up and you'll get a bunch of arches on top of itself. But these defined arches right here, these good thick defined arches, those are definitely fish. And you can tell that they're obviously relating to this hard spot right here. And right here, that's a good area. So we've got a little transition right here. So it's going from soft to a little bit harder right here. A lot of times it's just the transition, not necessarily the hardest bottom out there, but a change from one to another. Clay to rock, or from sand to pea gravel. Any little transition like that, you can actually see those transition in these composition maps, and that's what these fish are going to key on. So with this map right here, you can actually see the transition underwater. You can fish the bottom like you fish the bank. Fish areas with extreme confidence. We can go in here and we can view this map and we know that transition's there. When you go to the bank and you're flipping a dock or flipping a blowdown, you're flipping it because you can see it and you know that it's structure that will hold fish. Well, now we've known that transitions hold fish for the longest time, but there's never been a map where you could see it and confidently fish it. You can go throw a waypoint out there, but you're still just kind of drifting your boat in and out. You're really trying to feel around with your crankbait to feel that bottom change. You can see it now. You can put it right on your graph and you can see it. There's no more guesswork involved in anything. It's right there in front of you for you to take advantage of. And that's one great tool with this composition map. Alright guys, so today I've shown you some of the ways that I use Insight Genesis to help me be a successful angler on the water. If there's anything you should take away from this video, it's that if you're graphing, you should also be mapping. All you gotta do is press 3 buttons and you'll have access to all this data and information that you've never had access to before. The composition maps, the vegetation maps, and even the best contour maps available on the market. Alright guys, now that we've had time to go out there on the water, record our sonar logs, and upload them to Insight Genesis on the Go Free shop, we're going to show you how to now go in and actually merge those trips together and then put the maps back onto your unit. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the Go Free shop and we're going to log in with the same email and password that you used to create your College Cup account. So the first step of this process is you actually have to go in and register the unit that you're using on your boat so that the map will actually display on that unit. So you can see I'm logged in here. I'm going to go up and select under my name, it will have my plotters. I'll select my plotters. We can see here that I don't have any plotters registered. So I'm going to select new plotter. Plotter model. I'm running a Lowrance HDS Gen 3. So I'll go in and select the HDS Gen 3 model. Shortcut name. Let's say this is the unit that I'm using up at my trolling motor. So I'm going to call this HDS Bow. Now we're going to also need to enter the serial number and the plotter content ID. We're going to show you how to get that information right now. The easiest way to go in and find your serial number and your content ID number on your unit is to go in, hit the pages button. Once we hit pages, we're going to go in and select settings. And we'll scroll down to the bottom where it says about. We've got the serial number right here, as well as the content ID. So that what I usually do is just take a picture of the serial number of the content ID with my phone, take that back to my computer and enter that in. I'll click create and then our plotter will be registered and we'll be ready to go. Now that we've got our plotter registered, we're going to go back to our Insight Genesis account and we'll go to our dashboard. And once we get to our dashboard, we can select the trips that we want to merge. So today I'm going to do a merge with Lake Chickamauga. So I'm going to go in. I'll click the drop down arrow on Chickamauga Lake. We'll just go in and click view trip. And once I select that trip, it'll pull that trip up. But you can see up here on the top where it says merge trips. I'll select that tab. And when I select that tab, Insight Genesis is automatically going to go in and pull in all of my trips that I've ever had on Lake Chickamauga. I can go in and select just a couple trips if I want to. I like to put all my data in together when I'm creating maps, so I'm going to click trip title up here, and that'll automatically select all of my sonar logs that I've ever done on Lake Chickamauga. Once I do that, I'll scroll down here to the bottom,
Click merge trips. It'll allow me to select my contour interval and whether or not I want to include vegetation or composition. Composition is the bottom part in this map. And I'll click merge. That'll go in for processing and we'll get an email whenever our merge is finished. Okay, so I got the email letting me know that my merge is finished processing and is ready to be downloaded. So I'm going to go back into my dashboard, and up on top we've got the merged uploads tab. So I'll select the merged uploads tab. You can see here Lake Chickamauga. I'll select Chickamauga Lake, and it has all of my sonar logs that I've ever recorded on Chickamauga Lake pushed into one trip. I'll select view trip. All right, now we've got my merge pulled up. I'm going to go in and select map generation. It's a drop down tab up here at the top. When I select map generation, it'll give me the option of which plotter I want to download this map to. We'll select the one that we just inputted earlier, HDS bow. Include layer. We'll do composition and contours. Contour interval at 1. We want a lot of detail on this map, and then I'll select generate. After a few moments, it'll notify you that the map has successfully been generated. As you can see here, it says successfully generated map. Click save. So I'll click save. And down here at the bottom of my PC, it gives me the option to save as. I'm going to select save as, and when I save it as, I want to save it to the card that I'm going to use to put into my unit. So I've got a card inserted in my computer. I'll go in, scroll down here, and select where it says SDHC. That's the micro SD card I have inserted. I'll save it to that card. Now we've got one step left. We have to go in and unzip this file, so I'm going to show you how to do that now. So I'm going to go to my computer, select the SD card. I can see here that I have the map that I just saved to it. Now when you pull it up, it'll have a really long name with a bunch of numbers, a lot of code. I like to go in and rename it. You don't have to do this step, but for me, it just simplifies things a little bit. So I'm going to go in and rename this file. Now all I have to do now is unzip this file. So I'm going to right click the file. When you right click, if you're on a PC, you can go down and select 7-zip. It has extract files. Extract to. We can browse here and I'll make sure that I'm extracting it to my SD card. Select OK. And now I have an extracted lake file, as you can see here, Lake Chickamauga. So I'll go in and I'm going to delete this original file that I had. Are you sure you want to permanently delete this file? Yes. Now if you've done your extraction correctly, you'll have 5 files on your card now. An AT5, an HDS large, an HDS medium, and an HDS small, as well as a permits file. All 5 of these need to be on your card in order for your map to work properly. So now I've got my Lake Chickamauga map on my card and ready to insert into my unit. Okay, so we've successfully saved our map and extracted our files onto our card. So now we're going to take this card out and go make sure it works on our HDS unit. So I'm going to insert my card here, click Pages. Do you wish to change chart data selection to view the inserted charts? Lake Chickamauga. Yes. Alright guys, so now we've got our Insight Genesis maps here on our HDS units. Now it's time to get out there on the water and use the superior detail of Insight Genesis to go catch more fish.